having said our evening Amidah, which is always said silently at an evening time, we don't repeat it out loud. We now come to the next section. This is the part that makes it the longest service of the year. It is called Slichot, or prayers for forgiveness. Prayers that were created to ask or beg God for forgiveness. But there's a very important point that has to be made here. Forgiveness for your actions against other people are not dealt with on Yom Kippur. If you have done something against your brother, your sister, your parents, you have to ask them for forgiveness, not God. These are sins, these are transgressions, actions against God. They are considered sins as well, those other actions, but you need to ask those people for forgiveness. God cannot forgive you for those. This prayer on page 223 is the opening to the Slichot service. So in these books, page 223, a very specially created piyut, or poetic prayer, created in the Middle Ages, intended to open this part of the service on Yom Kippur night. Ya'aleh tachnunenu me'erev v'yavo shavatenu miboker ve'yera erinunenu ad arev Ya'aleh kolenu me'erev v'yavo tzidkatenu miboker ve'yera pidyanenu ad arev. And I'm only going to read a part of it. May our supplications, our requests, rise up at the evening. Our pleas arrive at the dawn, with the dawn, and our songs transform the dusk. May our voices rise up at evening. May our righteous acts arrive with the dawn, and our redemption transform the dusk. Notice the way this was all said. Ya'aleh v'yavo v'yera'eh. Rise up, come before, and transform or change. We go from evening, morning, and evening again. We're covering the whole day. And we're trying to bring ourselves up step by step before God. May our suffering rise up at the evening. Our forgiveness arrive at the dawn, and our purity transform the dusk. This is what we're hoping for. And this is the introductory piyut, or the introductory prayer. We now turn to page 226. In the middle of these requests for forgiveness, and there are lots of them, we include a statement that is said over and over again on Yom Kippur, evening and morning, and all day. It is a statement that God himself, or herself, God said to Moses. It is a description of God. It is 13 statements of God. It includes the idea of being patient and compassionate and merciful. These are called the 13 attributes. And on page 226, I'll ask you to stand up for this. We sing together in Hebrew, and then we'll switch over to the English. It is 6 lines from the bottom of the Hebrew. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha V'Chata V'Nakeh. We read in the English in the middle of the page, Adonai, Adonai, God, merciful and compassionate, patient, abounding in love and faithfulness, assuring love for thousands of generations, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, and granting pardon. God, you taught us these things, and we are hoping that you will, instead of being a God of judgment, move to being a God of compassion and forgiveness. We are praying for that and hoping for that. You may have a seat temporarily. And you'll notice as you flip through here that there's lots and lots of repetitions of the 13 attributes, as well as lots of poems and statements requesting for forgiveness. You don't have to say every single one of them, but even doing a few of them adds to our service, both in beauty and in time. We are now on page 233 in the Machzor. 5 lines from the top of the page. And for this, the ark is open. We have reached one of the high points, one key point of our Slichot service, our requesting. This is a very important statement. It is asking God to hear us. Shema kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, chus v'rachem aleinu, v'chabel b'rachamim v'ratzon et tfilatenu. And we read together in English, 7 lines from the top, actually 8 lines from the top. Hear our voice, Adonai, our God. Be kind and have compassion for us. Willingly and lovingly accept our prayer. Turn us toward you, Adonai, and we will return to you. Make our days seem fresh as they once were. Do not cast us away from you. Take not your holy presence from us. Do not cast us away as we grow old. Do not desert us as our energy wanes. And at this point, you may have a seat. Why should we ask God to listen to us? Why should we expect that God will? Well, that's the point of the next prayer, which is found on page 234. This is only said on Yom Kippur, this particular prayer. And I've been to many synagogues in my life on Yom Kippur. Nobody does this in a slow, sad melody. It's always in an upbeat melody because it describes our special relationship with God. Page 234, we'll start in the English, and then I'll sing it in the Hebrew. Our God and God of our ancestors, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement. For we are your people, and you are our God. We are your children, and you are our parent. We are your servants, and you are our master. We are your congregation, and you are our portion. We are your heritage, and you are our destiny. We are your flock, and you are our shepherd. We are your vineyard, and you are our guardian. We are your creatures, and you are our creator. We are your spouse, and you are our beloved. We are your cherished ones, and you are near to us. We are your people, and you are our sovereign, which means ruler. We are the ones you address, and you are the one to whom we speak. 3rd line in the Hebrew. Ki anu amecha v'ata Eloheinu, anu vanecha v'ata avinu, anu vadecha v'ata Adonenu, anu galecha v'ata chelkeinu, anu nachlatecha v'ata goralenu, anu tzonecha v'ata roenu, anu charmecha v'ata nochrenu, anu vulatecha v'ata yotzreinu, anu rayatecha v'ata dodenu, anu skulatecha v'ata krovenu, anu amecha v'ata malkeinu, anu mamirecha v'ata mamirenu. That was just one of many melodies that are all upbeat for this particular thing. We have now reached a very important part of the service. We are asking God for forgiveness, but we haven't stated why. I'm going to ask you a question in a moment, and I hope you can think about that answer as we come back.